Hi there. My name is Nicholas Jackson. I am a driving instructor and a classroom instructor with Drive Safe Driving Schools. I'm here in this automatic transmission car of ours to show you exactly how to drive an automatic transmission. Now this automatic transmission vehicle, like many others, has the gear selector lever down here towards the center console. We're going to go through each gear and talk about what they're used for. P stands for park. This is when you want to fully park your car and get out of it. You should never move your car into park while it is moving forward. You can greatly damage your transmission that way. When you place your car into park, the transmission actually locks, preventing your car from rolling either forward or backwards. Some cars won't actually let you take the keys out of the ignition until you place your car into park. Reverse is for when you want to move backwards. When you put your gear selector lever in the reverse position, the two backup lights on the back end of the car are going to light up, telling those around you that you're in reverse. Putting your car into reverse can be a dangerous maneuver, so save reverse for parking lots and driveways. When you're out on the public road, never put your car into reverse. N stands for neutral, and when you move the gear selector lever to the neutral position, the engine and the transmission are not connected, so when you hit the accelerator pedal, nothing will happen. When you're in neutral, your car will be able to roll both forwards and backwards. So if you're completely stopped and you put your gear selector lever in the neutral position, make sure your parking brake is set. Now those of you driving automatic transmissions are going to be using the gear D, or drive, very often. D is used for normal forward driving, and this is where you should keep your gear selector lever when you want to move forward. While in drive, your car will want to constantly be moving forward. To stop your vehicle, you're going to need to use your brakes. So just remember, when your foot is not on the brake pedal, your car will begin to roll forward. Now the 3, 2, and L, or the lower gears that are down here, will allow your car to accelerate much faster while going uphill. It provides more power to your drive wheels, so use them whenever you're climbing a steep hill or if you're towing something heavy or have a lot of cargo inside your vehicle. Now let's talk about starting your engine in an automatic transmission. When you're looking to start your car, place your keys in the ignition, turn it twice to the on position in your car, and then turn it past the on position. This will start up your car and your engine should begin to run. It's important to remember that after your car has started, don't try and start it again. You'll actually damage your starter that way, and it's very expensive to replace. If you're ever not sure about if your car is on or not, just twist it all the way back to the off position and start the procedure again. Turn it twice to the on position and then past the on position just to start your car. Now, a lot of times people always ask me, what do I do with my feet? What I do is I press firmly on the brake pedal, and I like to make sure that my parking brake is set. That way when I start this car, it won't roll forward or go anywhere like that. So then I've got my foot on the brake, I've got my handbrake set, and I'm just going to start the car, and it should start right up. You should avoid using the gas pedal to try to start your car. You can actually flood the engine and prevent it from starting up. So keep your feet on the brake pedal and don't use the gas when you try to start it. Now while you're driving, you want to have your hands in a good, comfortable, and controlling position to drive the vehicle safely. What you've probably always heard is keep your hands at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. This gives you full, complete control of the steering wheel and allows you to turn the vehicle freely. Another acceptable position is down here at 9 and 3. Most cars that have airbags suggest this position, so that way when the airbags go off, your arms go off to the side. Some drivers even like driving lower than that, down at the 8 o'clock and 4 o'clock position. These are all acceptable places to place your hands on the steering wheel. You never want to have it up here at 12 o'clock or all the way down at 6 o'clock. Make sure to keep your knuckles on the outside of the steering wheel. Don't get underneath or do anything funny like that. Don't palm the steering wheel. Make sure you have both hands with a good firm grip to keep complete control of the vehicle. Oftentimes when you're steering the vehicle, you're very tempted to look just directly at the hood in front of you or use your own car to kind of see where you are in your own lane. I know it's kind of hard to stay in your lane when you first start driving, but where you want to keep your eyes are high and on the horizon. You always want to be looking as far ahead as possible. So don't focus just on the car directly in front of you. Don't stare at the lines on the outside to make sure that you're in your lane. Use your peripheral vision to make sure that you're staying in your lane. And keep that good grip on the steering wheel as you're driving straight, and keep your eyes ahead. Always look far down the road as much as possible. Remember, when we start talking about the IPD process, I always talk about looking well ahead. Keep your eyes far down and onto the horizon. Don't stare at the cars directly in front of you. You want to make sure that you're seeing everything out there. When you're ready to start driving or to start moving forward, let's follow this procedure. In your automatic transmission vehicle, first you're going to want to put your foot on the brake. Because when you start moving your car into drive, you want to make sure that your car is not just going to roll forward. When you have your foot on the brake, now you can release the parking brake and move your gear selector lever into the drive position. You'll also note on the dashboard, the car is now telling us that we are in drive. As soon as you release your foot off of the brake, you will begin to start moving forward. Steer and control your car as normal. Use the gas to accelerate and use the brake to stop. It's also important to remember, before you start moving forward, check your surroundings. Make sure that you're completely clear before you start pulling forward. If you need to, make sure to use your turn signals when you're entering traffic. If you're leaving a parallel parking space, remember to look over your shoulder to make sure that there is no one coming in your blind spot. After you've been driving down the road for a while, I'm sure you're going to approach a stop sign or a red light, or just to slow down in traffic. When you want to stop your vehicle, you're going to be using your right foot, and you're going to be pressing on the foot brake. When you do this, you're going to let loose off the accelerator, so when you take your foot off the gas pedal, your car will naturally start to slow down gradually. But usually stops require a little bit more quickness to them. So take your foot from the accelerator, move it over to the brake, and begin to just press softly at first, and when you get closer and closer and closer, press in the brake further. The harder you press on this brake pedal, the quicker your vehicle will stop. So again, when you want to stop the vehicle, remove your foot from the accelerator, lightly press on the brake, and as you get closer and closer to your stop, press with firmer and firmer pressure to stop your car. When you make a routine stop coming up to a red light or traffic or whatever, you always want to check your rear view or side view mirrors. You want to see who is behind your vehicle, and you also want to make sure that they're stopping along with you. When you press your foot on the brake, your back brake lights should light up. While you are fully stopped, keep your foot on the brake pedal until you're ready to resume that forward motion. Then gently remove your foot from the brake and start pressing on the gas. In some states, it's actually illegal to have one of your brake lights out, and it poses a very big safety hazard. So make sure that both of those brake lights are working and check them periodically. When you want to park and secure your vehicle, make sure that you move your gear selector lever into the park position. You should also set your parking or emergency brake just in case the parking brake fails on you for whatever reason. After you have those brakes set, you can remove your foot from the brake pedal and you can turn off your car. Once your car is fully stopped and secured, remove your seatbelt, open up your door, and make sure that you have your keys with you. You would hate to forget those in your car. When you're getting out of your vehicle, make sure that you leave and walk behind so you can see any oncoming traffic coming towards you. If you're leaving your vehicle from the street side, it's important to make sure you check your mirrors and look over your shoulder to make sure traffic is clear before you exit your vehicle. When you exit quickly. Every time you park your car, it is important to make sure to lock all of your doors to fully and completely secure your vehicle. Any possessions that you may have inside, you want to protect. Now that we've had the opportunity to see how to operate an automatic transmission vehicle, now we're going to take a look at a standard transmission vehicle, or another vehicle that's called a manual. When you're driving either an automatic or a manual, the hand positions remain the same. But with a manual transmission, your right hand and your left foot are going to be doing a lot more work. Now when we look at the gear selector lever for a manual transmission vehicle, it's a little bit different than an automatic, and one thing that you'll notice is your vehicle will not tell you on your dashboard what gear you are in. Instead, judging by the position of your gear selector lever, that's going to tell you whether you're in first, second, third, fourth, fifth, or sixth gear, or you could be in reverse. Now notice how there is no parking setting for this manual transmission. We'll talk a little bit about how to secure your vehicle after we talk about these gears. So first, reverse is located on this vehicle far off to the left beyond first gear. Some manual transmissions come with a gate that you must first lift before you can move it into that selector position. When you put the manual transmission into reverse, the same exact things are going to happen in the automatic transmission. Your reverse lights are going to come on, telling people behind you that your car is going to go into reverse. Now, depending on your manual transmission, it's going to follow the same type of H gear pattern that you see here. Your car might have 4 gears, your car might have 5 gears. This car has 6 gears. Right now, where it's located is in the center or neutral position. So just like on the automatic transmission, this car right now is in neutral. When you want to move into first gear, that selector lever position is in the top left. Second gear is just straight behind it. To move into third, first you must return to center neutral, and then it is straight up from there. Fourth is straight back from third, and then fifth is to center neutral, to the right, and at the far top right. Sixth gear on this car is straight behind fifth. Now you're probably wondering, when should I put my car into first, second, third, and so on? Well, one thing that I've noticed, driving a stick shift myself, is first gear is really only good for dead stops. When you want to move your car anywhere between 10 to 15 miles an hour, that's really all first gear is good for. After you get your car moving, you want to shift into second gear. That'll bring you almost all the way up towards 30 miles an hour. After you get towards that end, then you want to shift into third gear. That will allow you to drive upwards of 40 miles an hour. Then you want to move into fourth gear when you want to drive a little bit faster than that. So fourth gear, fifth gear, and sixth gear are designed more for higher speeds, upwards of 65, 70 miles an hour. Not only is it important for you to know which gear is correct for whichever speed you're traveling, first gear, second gear, third gear, and so on, but you also have to know how to shift the vehicle. Now, on a manual transmission, you're going to notice that there are 3 pedals. We have the accelerator over here on the far right, we have the brake pedal here in the center, and then the one on the far left, you're going to be using your left foot to operate. That's the clutch pedal. When you want to shift, press the clutch all the way in and change your gears. When you pull the clutch out, make sure you remove your foot slowly. Don't just press in and then release quickly. You could end up stalling your vehicle or damaging your clutch and your transmission in the process. While you're driving a manual transmission, you might be very tempted to rest your foot there on the clutch. This is what's known as riding the clutch. Keep your foot over here on the far left on the clutch save. If you ride the clutch, you're going to be putting a lot of wear and tear on it just by resting your foot right here. So keep your foot resting until you're ready to shift gears or come to a complete stop. Now, starting a manual transmission is very similar to starting an automatic transmission. Your foot should not be on the gas. Instead, it should be over here on the brake to prevent your car from rolling anywhere. Now, in order to start a manual transmission, you have to press fully on the clutch. Otherwise, your vehicle will not start. I like to do what's called a safe start, and that's making sure that you're in center neutral when you start your car. you can start your car in first gear or second gear, or you could even start it over there in reverse. But keeping your car in center neutral will prevent you from pulling forward or backwards as soon as you let your foot off the clutch, which is very easy to do after you've been driving an automatic transmission for so long. Now, the key in the ignition, same thing, you just turn it twice to the on position, then turn it past the on position to start your car. Now, the reason why I keep it in center neutral is after you start your car, you're going to be very tempted to just go ahead and release off of the clutch. When your car is in gear, if you just let off of the clutch when you're in gear, your car will stall out or begin to roll forward or backwards. You want to prevent that from happening by starting safely. Now, one of the most important things to learn about driving a manual transmission vehicle is how to control the friction point. The friction point is that point when you start to let off on the clutch pedal. That's when the engine and transmission begin to engage with one another. So from the floor, as you begin to let loose on that clutch, the car will begin to take hold and start to move. That's why you always want to remove your foot from the clutch slowly and not quickly and abruptly, otherwise your car will stall out. So I'm going to demonstrate this on my car here, and watch the RPMs on this vehicle as soon as I've hit that friction point. So I'm letting loose on the clutch right now. My car is beginning to take hold, and you can see those RPMs start to climb a little bit. And now my car is trying to pull backwards, but the engine just does not have enough power to go. You can actually see my car start to move and dance a little bit when it's trying to do it, and it's even reminding me, hey, turn off your parking brake. Oh, it's still on. I still have my parking brake on. But right now, you can even see with the car next to me how my car is starting to sort of dance a little bit because he's trying to move backwards, and I'm just slowly letting off that clutch to bring it towards that friction point. I do have the car in gear. It's in reverse right now. But notice how I'm also not stalling out. I have full, complete control of this car, and I'm able to just bring it right to that friction point, right to where the car begins to take hold. And I've let go of it too far, and now you notice that the RPMs have dropped down to 0, and my car has completely stalled. When you stall a manual transmission, it can be very frustrating. But as soon as it happens, make sure you got your foot on the brake, pushing the clutch all the way, and I'm just going to do another safe start again to make sure that I don't roll anywhere. And we just turn the key forward past the on position again, and it'll start right back up. Now, the hard part about driving a manual transmission is learning how to shift the car. So what I'm going to demonstrate is what your feet are going to be doing when you're going to shift the car. Anytime that you want to change gears, your foot has to be completely in on the clutch. When you press in on the clutch, it's like your car is in neutral. So when you press in on the clutch, remember to let your foot off of the gas. When the left foot goes in, the right foot comes up. When the left foot comes out, the right foot goes in. You're going to be playing that little dance with your left foot and your right foot to kind of alternate between the clutch and the gas. Remember, when the clutch goes in, the gas comes off. When the clutch comes out, the gas can go back in. So let's say that you're driving along the road and you're here in first gear. Remember, first gear is only good from coming off of a dead stop and getting up to about 15 miles an hour. So we come off of our dead stop. I'm slowly letting off the clutch. I start to feel that friction point, and I move over towards the gas and I start rolling. And then as I get up to speed, I'm going to want to shift into second. So as I'm traveling along, I press in on the clutch, let off of the gas, shift into second, and then slowly let off the clutch, and then get back on the gas to resume my forward motion. Same thing if I want to move into third gear. So I'm traveling along, clutch in, gas off, move it up to third, and then clutch off, and then the gas is back in. Now the same motion can be done for downshifting. Upshifting is known when you're going from a lower gear to a higher gear, so upshifting from third to fourth. But if I want to downshift the car, that's when I'm traveling up a hill, and I might need a little extra power to climb that hill. What you're going to be doing is just the same thing you do to upshift. You're going to clutch in, let off the gas, move from the higher gear to the lower gear, and always remember to slowly let off the clutch as you get back on the gas. When you downshift, the RPMs are going to be slightly higher, so you might want to compensate for that by getting a little bit more on the gas to allow for that extra buffer room. Now again, just like an automatic transmission, when you're traveling fast down the road, like say I'm traveling in 6th gear on the highways, while your vehicle is moving forward, you never want to go from a forward gear driving 50 some miles an hour over to reverse. You can greatly damage your transmission that way. The reverse on this car is located far off and towards the left, which is nice, but some cars have reverse right behind the 5th gear. So it's very easy to be shifting along. You get into 5th gear when you're on the highway and you want to shift again. Well, reverse is right behind there. So make sure you know what your gear selector lever is telling you. Now, oftentimes there's a lot of confusion about what to do when you want to stop your manual vehicle. Well, as I'm traveling along, let's say that I'm just driving in 2nd, just in my neighborhood streets. I'm traveling along, minding my own business, and I come up to a stop sign, let's say. So I start pressing the brake like I normally would, but right before I come to a full and complete stop, I want to press in my clutch. If I just hold down the brake and make my stop while I'm in 2nd gear, my car will stall out. Before you come to a full, complete stop, make sure that you press in the clutch all the way. Now, if I stop from 2nd gear, before I start my car again from that stop sign, I want to make sure that I'm back in 1st, otherwise I'll have a difficult time moving forward. Now, say that you want to stop your car, say on the highway, or if you're slowing down from higher speeds. While your car is in gear, 5th gear, 4th gear, whatever gear that you're in, your left foot is just resting over here on the clutch rest. It's staying over here to make sure you're not riding the clutch, and you're just using your right foot like normal, going from the gas to the brake, the gas to the brake. The only thing the clutch is good for is for shifting your car and preventing it from stalling when you come to a full and complete stop. So when you're slowing down, say that I see a lot of traffic up ahead as I'm traveling on the highway, I'm in 5th gear, cruising along at 50 miles an hour. Traffic is starting to slow down, so I'm just going to slow down with it. It's remarkable how slow you can actually go when in a very high gear. I could go probably 10 miles an hour while I'm in 5th gear. But as soon as I go to accelerate, my car is not going to accelerate very quickly. So I will need to throw in the clutch, downshift probably to 2nd gear. 1st gear is really only good for coming off of a dead stop. And then let off the clutch, and then back on the gas. Now, because a manual transmission has no parking gear, a lot of times people wonder, well, how do you park a manual transmission? Well, as soon as you get to your parking space or wherever you want to stop and turn off your car, right now I have my foot completely on the brake because my emergency brake or my parking brake is not engaged. So as soon as you get to your spot, the first thing I do is set the brake, make sure that it's completely on and all the way. Right now I just have it in neutral, that's why I'm not going anywhere. But in order to help out the parking brake, in case this fails, because machines are known to fail, sometimes they don't work as well as they should, place the gear selector lever into a gear. I would recommend using 1st gear. I personally like using reverse. Reverse is a very good gear for holding the car and locking the transmission. Now, right now I have my foot completely on the clutch because I am in gear. If I were to let go, my car would stall out. So while you've got your foot on the clutch, on the brake, got my car into a gear, got my parking brake on, now I can turn off my car, and then as soon as my engine has stopped running, I can let my foot off of the clutch, I can remove my foot from the brake, and now my manual transmission car has been secured. Now, I know that we've shown a lot in this video about how to control an automatic and a manual transmission vehicle, and whatever you're going to be driving in when you get your permit is probably going to be a little bit different than the vehicles you just saw. But at least now you can have some understanding of what to do to get your car moving, to fully stop your car, and to lock and secure your car as soon as your car is fully parked and you're ready to leave. Now, thanks for joining me here. I hope that you learned a lot from this, and I will see you again.